Ladies and gentlemen of the ministry, good afternoon. I am privileged today to have the opportunity to introduce our speaker, Mr. Pratik Khanna. Pratik is going to talk to you about our country's growth and how we need to respond from a transportation standpoint. How are we going to respond to our country's growth, not only population, but also in economy? So, without further ado, I'd like to give a little background on Mr. Khanna. He earned his bachelor's degree in 2004 from the UP Technology University, here in India. That degree was in mechanical engineering. After he completed his bachelor's degree, he went on to work for Bharat Aluminum Company for 3 years. There he held several positions. Most notably, he was a team leader, and he was the associate manager of operations and maintenance. His experience there, one of the most important parts of his experience there was his expertise gained in Six Sigma, and he also was able to manage and implement some initiatives that saved the company hundreds of thousands of dollars. After he left Bharat, Pratik and I actually met at the university, at Purdue University, where we were both pursuing our MBAs at the Krannert School of Management. Since leaving, Mr. Khanna he's been with the National Highway Development Authority for 8 years. He is currently a senior representative, and last year he won the Prime Minister's Award for Innovation in Government. Without further ado, Mr. Pratik Khanna.
Good afternoon all. India has been experiencing a furious economic growth for the last 5 years, and we dream to be a developed nation by 2020. But in order to do so, we would have to carry on with the economic growth of the same rate for another decade. Unfortunately, I do not see that coming. I do not see that coming because of the poor transportation system that we have. We need to have concrete plans to improve our transportation system and to make sure that our dream does not remain a dream forever. So, I have a plan of such kind, but before I tell you more about my plan, let me give you a brief overview of what I'm going to talk about over the few minutes. First, we will be analyzing the present situation, if we actually need more highways, more expressways in India. And if we do we have a plan of action? Like any other plan of action, my plan of action will face challenges and how we are going to meet those challenges. And of course, the implicit benefits of the plan. But first, let's talk about the present situation. We have a road accident in India every 10 seconds. Every 4 minutes, we lose some of us because of a road accident. Every 4 minutes, we lose some of us because of a road accident. India only accounts for 1% of the global vehicles, but accounts for 6% of the global accidents. This picture does not seem so good to me. The reason for that is that the highways and expressways of India only account for 2% of the total road network, while they carry 40% of the total road networks. They carry 40% of the total traffic. Because of these accidents, our country faced a financial loss of $13.75 billion per annum. But $13.75 billion is not the only thing that we are concerned about. The human lives are even more important things than the financial losses. Let us try to analyze the trends that we have been experiencing for the losses of human lives. The blue bar that you see represents the number of accidents per year. The red bar that you see represents the number of deaths because of road accidents, and the green bar represents the number of disabilities because of road accidents. You can see that the trend of these accidents, deaths, and disabilities has been increasing. The accidents have been increasing in the last few years. This is not a good picture for a growing economy. We need to have a concrete plan in order to combat this picture. Here is my plan. We plan to develop 8,350 miles of expressways and highways in our country. We plan to do that over 10 years. That project will be divided in two phases, two main phases, and six sub-phases. This project will require $24 billion of investment. The first phase that I'm talking about is represented by the red line that we can see in the map of India. The phase 2 of the project is represented by the blue line and by the green line represented in the map of India. The red line is called as a golden quadrilateral project because of the shape of the project, and the green line is called as the north-south corridor, and the blue line is called as the east-west corridor. Let us try to dig deep into the phases of the projects. The phase 1 of the project will link the capital of India, New Delhi, with Mumbai, Mumbai to Chennai, Chennai to Kolkata, and Kolkata back to Delhi again, as represented in this figure, like that. The phase 1 will require us to make 3,750 miles of road network and will cost us $400 million per annum. We plan to complete this phase of the project by 2017. Another project that we have is the north-south corridor and the east-west corridor. We will plan to complete the project by 2017 as well. This project will require us to make 4,600 miles of expressways and highways in our country. This project will require us to generate cash of $1.6 billion every year. So, a combined, we need $2 billion every year to implement this project. That is 1.6 plus $0.4 billion per year. I know this amount is a huge sum for any government. We have to have concrete plans to develop to generate these kind of funds. I have a plan for that. We plan to levy a tax of 10 cents on every gallon of the petroleum that is being purchased by consumer. That will give us a total cash of $1.15 billion, that is 1.8 plus $0.35 billion every year. We also plan to collect $250 million every year from the tolls that we will be collecting from the users. We also plan to generate $200 million from additional excise duty and that we will be implementing on the motor vehicles, taking the total figure to $1.6 billion per year. The deficit of $400 million, that is, we require $2 billion, and we only have $1.6 billion. The deficit will be filled by the foreign direct investment and by the government of India with an equal contribution. So, if we take up this project, what are all the implicit benefits that we will experience? The first one is our transport system will experience a huge momentum. Second, of all the cities that we will be connecting with the highways and the expressways, those cities will be experiencing a huge industrial growth. And mind you, we will be connecting more than 40 cities across the country, and all 40 cities will be experiencing a huge economic growth, and that will be an extremely beneficial condition for our country.